Hi, it's Andy again with another sermon teaser. This week we'll be looking at the prophet Joel, the book of Joel, and that's what I was ready to talk about as I sat down. And as I did, I realized, well, I didn't do one last week for Hosea. Some things just kind of got in the way, and so it's been a couple of weeks. And in those couple of weeks, my wife has raised her monitor, and that's normally where I shoot this is in the office at her home, and it's specifically at her desk. And well, the monitor has another book or two under it. It's much higher so that she would be in a better posture position, and the camera sits on top of the monitor, and now I'm looking way up, whereas it used to be almost eye level or just above eye level. So that just feels strange. It's a very different perspective, and you're looking more at the floor behind me and such than the walls above. But it reminds me, as we think about Joel, that God was giving the nation of Israel, and specifically Judah, who the prophet of Joel was primarily writing to, a different perspective about judgment. Joel is much about the day of the Lord, and the people of Israel and Judah were looking forward to this coming day of judgment that would be against all the nations, except them, of course, because they were God's chosen people. But God talked about the locusts that came and ravaged the vegetation in the area, and he reminds them that there would be an army coming to ravage them in Joel chapter 2. But he also talks about a promise to come, a promise of restoration for those that believe. And so God's wrath will indeed be poured out. In fact, it has been in many ways, but it will indeed be again. Revelation 9 talks about the locusts to come, who won't harm the vegetation, but instead will torture the people. But that wrath of God to come is only for those who don't believe. For those who believe and have received that gift that Jesus has offered, God's wrath was poured out on him. And so this week we're going to look at that and our role. What is our responsibility? How do we apply an Old Testament prophet from some 2,800 years ago? How do we apply that today? I hope you'll join us as we talk about the day of the Lord briefly, but more importantly, what is our response? And how can we lead others and lead ourselves to be the people that God has called us to be? I hope you'll join us this week. Look forward to seeing you.